Hello YouTube! So, the other day I made a video detailing some things that you can do when you hit level 80 to very quickly gear up on generally targeted at alt characters for people that have already been playing the expansion but maybe have leveled up some fresh things to level 80 or haven't played those alts in a while. Like, what can they do to gear up for characters that aren't already 684, which was the current BIS? But maybe you're new to World of Warcraft in patch 11.2, or maybe slightly after, and you want to know what is relevant. You've just hit level 80, you're lost, you're in Dornogal. What the hell is even that? What is everything? What do you need to know? So that's what this video is targeted at. I fortunately have a fresh dinged level 80 character on my account that I haven't done anything on yet, and I'm going to show you what I would do for a fresh ding character, things that I would mandatory do, make sure I complete paramount, things that are sort of like, I mean, I guess you could do that if you want to, there might be some merit, and then things that are sort of just like, ignore that, it's irrelevant, right? So that's going to be the plan here with this. This might not hit every single person's unique situation, but hopefully we get as many people as possible. So I've got a fresh ding character here, 500 item level. Can see it's like not been played. It's getting the campaign introduction invite here. So you're when you hit level 80 and you come to Dornogal, the game is going to give you this mandatory sort of quest that you should really do. The background gives you the perspective that it is a main quest. It is something quite important and pertinent that you should do, and you can tell that it's different from other quests because of the icon. The icon's basically emboldened, right? It's a quest that is distinct in its importance there. So that's very, very important. That's ultimately going to be a quest that's going to unlock the new zone for you, and also unlock all of the features that then come with that. The new power gains, the new cloak, and things like that. So that's something that we'll do shortly, but that's not what I would do immediately. So first things first, what are some other quests that you can get? So when you come to Dornogal, there are going to be some various quests. There are some things here. This is quite important to do. The better part of valorstones. This could be quite helpful in getting you some of the important currencies, which you can find on your currency tab. This character doesn't have any yet, so they're not going to display for me, but this is an important quest. It just wants you to go and collect some of the currency, and if you actually read through all of this dialogue and you complete this quest, then it will talk to you about the various, ways in which the current currency is going to be utilized. And that's all to do with just gear upgrades and the sort. So that'll be all sorted there for you. So that's to do with gear upgrading and those sorts of things. Then in here, you might have a quest here from this delve guy, and he's gonna give you the option to like skip things or complete things. This is kind of optional and up to you on how much of this you want to do. If he does have a blue quest here, I would very much encourage you to grab it. It's going to be associated with the delve system, and you're going to want to do that because delves are a very good way for you to gain core, like gear, and just power increases just across the game via doing delves. So quite important. You can do these things. I mean, this Kazalgar quest is, I can ignore that. It's whatever. But there's like some optional things there that you can do. Maybe give you some more context as well. So definitely a good vendor to read. And honestly, interact with all of these NPCs in this region, because this is very much there's some like transmog things that you can do, some collection things, mounts, all that kind of stuff. So there's some cool stuff here that you can figure out if you want to. Now, there's going to be this little console here, which is really, really good. You want to grab this on all of your characters. This is how you're going to get a very, very strong belt piece, which is going to be good for most specs for the entirety of this patch, so the remainder of the expansion. So this is absolutely worth grabbing up, and I would make sure that after you've completed your first delve, which is the purpose of this quest, you come back here, turn it in, and there will be multiple follow-ups that will just need you to go and do more delves. So that's really, really good and really, really worth doing. That's going to be a massive power gain. Next, you're just on the lookout for all of the blue quests. There's a nice little hub here which you can check in on weekly. There will be refreshers here where you will grab these blue quests. They give you things like reputation, currencies for various things. This quest here will vary. It'll be either PvP or dungeons or like delves or anything like that. So you can grab that. That's kind of optional here. Not everyone does PvP. Then you have a quest here. Again, just like you can grab all these and you'll naturally just complete these things just from playing the game. Again, you have a bit of a choice here. Do you want to do dungeons? Do you want to do some of the other activities in order to complete this? I personally am just going to grab dungeons. And this is quite important. You're going to get these sparks, which I guess we can maybe talk about a little bit. So these sparks are going to help you in the crafting side of things, which we'll get onto in a little bit. So the crafting side of things, very, very helpful, very important, and you will want to look further into that. It's also going to give you a cache, which will just contain some currencies, some things associated with delves, some gold, that kind of thing. Then there's a couple options here. These things are related to the previous patch, actually, so you really don't need to do them. You can do them, they're going to be lore associated, but you don't need to do them. Completely optional. I haven't done them. You can do if you'd like to. Next, you can run in here, grab the innkeeper, make it your home, which means that whenever you use your, like, hearthstone, which will be in your bag somewhere, it'll just bring you back to this location, so you have a nice central hub to know that you're going to be comfortable to come back to. There's a flight master here, which you can grab. Basic stuff like that, I'm sure you can figure out a little bit. Then there's like a couple other yellow quests. Okay, so these quests over here, I'm pretty sure are just completely irrelevant. I mean, go check them out in your own time. There's the Lorewalker Cho thing, which is like a campaign. Again, that's fully optional, not mandatory. A few of these quests, I think, are just quests associated with the zones that I just never did on this character because I've just leveled via dungeons. So there's a bunch of quests on the map. Again, fully optional. Anything here that's yellow, fully optional. There is a campaign quest, but if you want to, because I'm level 80 on this character, I think on your first character you've probably already done the campaign, but you can just skip the level up campaign. Yep, skip, 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 and then it's not going to ask me to go and do all of that stuff. See, that's just removed that now. So I've now officially completed the main story quest on this character just from doing that. Then, what are some other things? Yeah, so any of the quests that aren't blue or, like, emboldened, you can basically just ignore. Next, I'm going to show you a few key features. So, first of all, I'm going to take you into here. So this is something that I referenced in my previous video, and this is something that you'll only have if this character is not your first character. If this is your ult, then you will have some things here if you've not really played it this season, or if you haven't claimed these yet, then you'll have rewards in the form of crests, which are a very valuable currency. If you just highlight over the crests, it'll tell you where you can get them, what they're used for. And so if I grab some of these, again, you might not have these. If you don't have these, don't worry about it. It's just some extra gear. And I can skip back and show you some more relevant things. I want to get into the crafting system for you guys, because the crafting system is something that I think a few people wanted some additional help on. They felt like that was confusing. So let's jump into that now. So I'm going to fly to this area here on the map, right? Near the fissure. There are a couple vendors here. This is a crafting hub, right? There's a mailbox, there's a crafting order person here, which you can speak to, and this is where you're going to get other people to craft things for you. Some people are commenting saying, well, I'm not doing crafting, this is wasted time for me. It's not. Other people can craft for you. Guildies can do it, random people can do it, or you can do it if you really want to. But there's also another vendor right next to this vendor. There are some currencies from last season. Irrelevant. Do not use those. Irrelevant. Forget about those. You now have new season currencies. These are items which are going to embellish the craft that you make, guaranteeing it's going to be at least 662 item level. So that week 1 is what you're doing. The new crests and stuff will now be available as of posting of this video. The new season has begun, so you're going to be able to get access to these higher level crests, which just are going to mean that you can craft a higher level item. It's the same item you craft, it's just a higher base level. Now, you can recraft in future, so don't worry like you're making a mistake here. You're not. You can get these upgrades early with lower level crests, and then when you're settled on what you want to craft later, you can recraft, and you would do it via here. You talk to this lady, there's a start recraft order, you would put in the item that you've crafted, and then you can scale it up. But let's imagine that I want to craft something for the first time now on this fresh character. I've got a few quests. Let's say you've gone and done some world quests and things like that, and you got some quests ready to craft. Well, you could come here, you could decide you want to craft some armor or a weapon. Let's say I want to craft a headpiece. I'm looking for, in this case, for this level of crest, a blue item. With higher level crests, you would actually look to use the higher level items here. But I'm going to use the Spelunker's Practiced Hat. So if I click on that, it's then going to give me some spiel about how to do the crafting. And then you can track the recipe and go to the auction house and buy any of the items that you need should you not have them. Now this is going to craft at a base 458 item level, but if I put in this item, which I just bought from the vendor next door, I am going to guarantee a baseline 662, which you can see. So that's the bare minimum that we want. You can, if you make it a personal order to somebody in like trade chat that you can get to like specifically craft this for you, you can guarantee it's going to be 675. You can enforce that they do that for you, but they might charge a tip or a fee. So you can just do it as a public order, and you risk it not being a 675, you risk it being a 662. But generally, people that are crafting, they're good enough that they'll at least craft it at a slightly higher level. So there are some things that you can grab. If you want guaranteed stats, you can go to the auction house and grab the missives. So let's just do that. These like embellishments here, they're literally called embellishments. You can only have 2 of those active total on all your pieces of gear. You can craft as many pieces of gear as you want, but you can only have 2 active embellishments. So that's very, very important. If you want the empowered version of any crafts, you only get 2 of them. So let's go to the auction house. So if I want to then craft,
to target something first,
and I think I've DC'd. Okay, that's some Wednesday patch day server lag. Okay, look at that. Blizzard. Love it. So, what did I say? So I'm going to look at the items here that I'm tracking. So I'm going to go to Storm Charged. And I would buy 30 of these. And then I would... And you want to get the maximum quality available. Because the higher quality, see there's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. The higher the quality, the better the craft is going to be. Which ensures that you're going to have a better time with a higher item level. Then you're going to look for a missive. Now this is going to be based on your spec. You're going to want to find one that's going to give you something, stats that you care about. So haste mastery, crit mastery, verse, whatever it is that you want. You would buy that missive and then job's done. You're all good. You've got everything you need from the crafting system. So I can open that mail. I can then fly back to the crafting vendor, which will be here. And this is where I can then go back to the original item, Helm, click on Spelunkers, and then I've got the crafting material, and I've got Haste Mastery as a missive. So this is going to guarantee a 662 item level piece with the stats that I want. Sorted. Done. Can put in a little fee, whatever it might be. You know what? I probably will just craft it. What's my helm? Should I just craft this? Yeah, go on then. Why not? So I'm going to put in a fee. Let's just say like 200 gold. I'm going to do a public order. I don't mind. If it's not the maximum craft level, it's going to be good enough for me. So that's that sorted. So I've just put a helm on. It might take some time. Right now, it's the beginning of a season, so I imagine those things will be completed quite quickly. So we're good there. So, that's some of the quests that you need, some of the things you can ignore in Dornogal. We're pretty much done now in Dornogal. There's one final thing that is relevant for you that you're going to want to check out. And if you fly over here, you can come to this section, which is the horrific vision section. I spoke about some of these, but I didn't actually showcase them to you. So, there's a vendor here. This guy here is going to empower your, vision talent tree, right? These are things that are going to empower your ability to run these visions, which is basically just like a solo or 1 to 5 player group content that you can engage with, and there is a reward that is worthwhile. You can get mounts, pets, cosmetics. There's all this, vendors here. You can get all these mounts, pets, and cosmetics and everything like that, but you can also get gear. If you manage to complete the horrific visions at a high level, so you do it with masks on, then you will get higher item level gear. And this is something I showcased in my previous video, where I showed that you could get a sorry, a 691 item level weapon this week. So this is really, really good if you want to grab some gear, though that might be something that you do maybe if you just got some spare time and you just want to do like some solo content or something. There you go. So what is next? Now, you have options on things that you want to do. So I would advise you to go to the new zone and unlock that, because that's going to give you the access to your new like cloak, which is a very big power gain. It's like a new legendary item, which is going to be the key like, you know, sales pitch of the patch. So you can fly in here and we can turn in this quest. Remember, this is the quest that the game is really like, hey, go and do this, please go and do this. It'll be in your quest log. It like forces you to do it. So you can come and grab this and turn this in and grab the follow-up. This is all the lore stuff, this is the story, so if you want to pay attention and you want to take your time with this and savor it, go for it. It takes about an hour or so if you just casually take your time with it, but it's going to fully unlock the whole zone. Awesome. So this is what I would advise you do next. Then I'll talk about all of the like some options you have with all the different types of content that exist in the game that you can do. So let's jump in here. And again, this is exactly how I would play a fresh character. This is what I'm doing on all of my characters. You can watch the cutscene if you want. Now, if you're a first-time player of this, then you just proceed through the quest, you follow along, do everything that it tells you to do, and just follow these, like, emboldened quest markers throughout the zone. Jobs are good in. But for this character, I've already done the questing and everything like that, so I can just skip. And if you're on any of your alts, I don't turn any of these quests in. Once you get to the new zone, make sure you talk to the four-legged freak there, and it's going to skip the whole thing for you. Now, there are some other quests here, and you might be thinking, well, okay, what are all these, Sai? So these are previous patch quest lines. So this is from like patch 11.1, 11.0, maybe some of that kind of stuff. Again, I don't really get. I haven't done them. But again, this is all optional stuff that you can do. This is from the previous patch. So this is from 11.1 with the Undermine, the previous zone, the previous raid, the previous season. Next, you have like Khadgar. He's got his own little separate story thing. We find out more about him. So that's all like main story quest. Then I think this might actually be a little bit relevant to the previous patch, just before this patch released. This was a little bit relevant, but it's all story stuff. You can skip it. Then there's this person, the expedition awaits. Now, this is really interesting. This is a sort of, not a mandatory, but maybe something that you might want to consider. So if you follow this quest, it's going to take you to the gates here. And then it's going to unlock for you a new zone, which isn't listed right here because I haven't unlocked it. You know what? Let's go do it. Shall we go do it? Let's go do it. So I can show you this. So this is an old zone from way earlier in the expansion, but it does have some potential gear upgrades, sort of. But it's more so a really good way of leveling up alts. So I'm going to show you this for now. We just go through the quest stuff here. It's going to take me to this new zone. Again, this is all old zone content, so no one's going to be here. Like, you don't want to go here for anything current day. But this is a really good alt leveling zone. So there's a region here, up here in the map, like center of the map, up in the north, that's really good mob density. You can bring any character from level 10 up, and they will get major XP. So if you have a friend who can summon you here with a warlock or something, or you have tons of gold, maybe buy a WoW token, you can find people which will boost your character for you. And I'm going to make a separate video on that, actually, all about how you can speed level literally 3-minute levels from level 70 to 80, and it's like even quicker from 10 to 70. I think the whole thing takes like an hour or under 2 hours, definitely. But I think if you go into custom, there might be some Siren Isle things. Yeah. Maybe leveling service. Yeah, leveling service. All that kind of stuff. It's all going to be there. So this is just like a good place to go if you want to level some alts. That's a nice little side tangent there. Let's go back to the new zone. So this is the place that you're really going to care about. So this is like literally brand spanking new. This is where everybody's going to be. This is where you're going to do all of your sort of quote-unquote casual content. And this is where you're going to do a lot of your character progression. for people that maybe don't, that are maybe like just new, fresh to the game and everything, trying to find a guild, trying to find out what all the systems are and stuff in the game. So you can come to this new zone. There's tons of like quests and lore and a way to unlock your new cloak and everything like that. So you can do that. There's a world boss here. So this world boss has a guaranteed loot drop that you're going to get this week that's quite powerful. So I would definitely recommend going and doing that skull marker at some point. This is where the new raid is going to be as well. Tons of activities to do here, tons of mounts to collect, story to unlock, cosmetics, everything like that. This is going to be like your main hub as a new player, just experiencing what's new content in World of Warcraft. This is the zone, okay? So, that's everything that you need to do. Now, once you've unlocked all of this stuff, it is free reign. So what would I personally do? So if this was me, I would continue going and doing as much crafting as I possibly can, acquiring as many crests as I possibly can, and valorstones, which you can do from these world quests. World quests are really strong right now. You're going to get reputation with the new reputation. You're going to get armor. Look at that, 655 armor. That's a 100 item level upgrade just from going and spending 5 minutes going and doing that quest. So really important to go and do that. Another upgrade right there, 200 item level upgrade, amazing. So you can get massive, massive, massive item levels here just from going and doing the world quests in this zone and killing rares and things like that. So that's like point 1. Next, if you're feeling really newbie and you're just like, what is everything? You have the dungeon system here, which you can find on the group finder. Maybe I'll move my fat head. Let me move myself over here. So, bottom right of your screen, you'll find the group finder. You can sign up for PvP if you're interested in that. You can sign up for dungeons on an automatic queue system. So this, you don't need anyone to invite you. It'll just automatically queue you. You have normal and heroic dungeons, but heroic requires a minimum item level to join. You then have like the raid finder. I definitely implore you to do this as soon as you possibly have the item level, because you have the potential to get some very powerful gear from that. You then have all of the custom option things here from old raids, new raids, quests, delves, everything. So the core basics of what you want to be doing in WoW when you get into a new season, the 3 pillars are PvP with Arena and Battlegrounds. That's one pillar. You then have Mythic Plus, which is all the dungeon content and the 5-player dungeon content. And then you have Raiding, which is flex, guild-related, sort of you can pug it, which just means like pickup group, just random groups with people, so you can just like join a raid here. Or you can, like find a guild. This is probably your best bet as a new player to try and join some of these, but you might have a hard time getting in. But give it a go. So you've got raiding, dungeons, mythic, raiding, dungeons, PvP. I'm a big Mythic Plus guy. I would definitely implore you to check out some of the dungeons. Right now, it's like super easy to just make your own group and jump into a Mythic 0 and get some very solid item level loot, which you can find if you click on the book, the adventure guide. You can then go on to like, Blizzard even gives you suggested content. It directs you on where to go for some of these things. Some of this stuff is old. This is old. This is last patch, the patch before that. Like, this is old stuff. So be a little bit careful in what you select. It's probably unfair of Blizzard to show you super old content and not tell you, hey, this is like less so what you want to be focusing on. But this is how you get your new cloak, so this is actually really important. Wait, is that right? Oh no, this is something slightly different, but still kind of important to do, so you can grab that. So, dungeons, go and run those. Really going to be a solid idea. That's how you're going to get like a bunch of loot. Then you can jump into raids as and when you're ready. Now, delves are also a really, really good source of gear early on, and it's going to fill up your vault. A really big thing that you're doing week to week in World of Warcraft is filling up your vault, which you can find, again, if you go into like the group finder menu, you can click either delves and then Great Vault, or you can click Mythic Dungeons and you should have a vault thing there, or PvP, there should be one somewhere. You go into delves, click your Great Vault, and then this is going to show you the weekly activities that you've completed. There are world activities. This includes world quests, delves, that kind of stuff. There's dungeon activities from normal, heroic, mythic, etc. Just heroic and up. And then you've got the raid boss, like kill stuff to do as well. So, you want to do as many of these things as you possibly can each week. The higher level you do on each of them, the better. And then that's going to mean that you are getting weekly activities completed. And on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, depending on when your game resets, or a Thursday if you're Asia, then you are going to have a weekly reward, which you can select one of the items that appears in your, like, Lucky Vault loot chest. But I want to show you a little bit about delves right now. So, I'm on this fresh character. I've just flown to a delve. You can find these little, let me move away. You can find these little, like, I don't know, like cave entrance signs here. You can find them all over the map in the various different zones in the game. So in this expansion, if you just like, if you're on the map and you just right click, it'll bring up the various zones that are still somewhat relevant. Each one will have, like, there's a delve there, there's a delve there, there's a delve there. You can go and do these delves, and in doing so, get some very powerful loot and progress your character. Remember that we got a quest earlier that asked us to go and complete a delve, and we would get a very powerful belt. This is how you would do that. So you would click on a delve, you can select the level. The higher the level, the more difficult, but also the better loot that you're going to get. You can come and do these, enter into the delve, and it will just take you in. This is solo or group content, whatever you want to do. You can go on through, and you start the delve talking to that person, whatever. And then you can, like, have this helper Bran, who you're going to level up, and he's going to be a little partner, and he is completely troll. So good luck and have fun with him. But you can select his little, like, combat attributes. He's going to help you out. And then where do I go? Okay, so I want to use this waygate. So these delves are really quite fun. They're a really good entryway into the game to, like, show you how to play your spec, your class, and just, like, get used to some combat and stuff. So I'm on a super fresh character. Let's see what I can do here. Can I actually kill things? I'm 500 item level. Okay, yeah, this is going to be plenty fine. So you can absolutely come and do these delves. Super low item level. Things are dying. Amazing. Now, that's most things that I really had to show you. Everything I've shown you so far is quite important. I guess the final thing is, like, in each of these zones, there are world quests which you can go and do. They are likely worth doing early on when you're fresh to the game and new to the game and everything like that. Probably going and doing some of these world quests. Don't feel like you need to do them all completely. I'm not going to, like, completely make an exhaustive list here. There's other little activities that you can go and do, but pretty much everything I've shown you is the main, most important, like, straight to the point activities that you can do. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, this video is quite helpful, but what if I need more help with my class, with discovering some of these things going on, like, where do I go, what do I look at? So, if you go on to a really good website, it's a community website, it's called Wowhead, I'll link it in the description. It has tons of information. It gives you all of the developer posts and, like, forum updates here, so you can look through that if you would like to know what's upcoming. There's, like, news feeds that you can check out, like, recent changes to the game and updates and stuff like that. But this is really quite nice. So this is a bunch of guide information, and then also there's a bunch of real-time in-game activity notices. So it'll tell you when various things are active. I spoke to you about horrific visions. It'll tell you what the vision is that week. It will tell you how, like, what world quests are going on that week, what the world boss is, like, all sorts of potentially interesting or helpful information that is pertinent to your region. So that's really, really helpful stuff. There's also a bunch of talent build guides. Let's say you play on Holy DK and you're like, how do I play my spec? What do I do? What's all the different talents that I can take? Tons of information here, written by all the theory crafters and stuff in the game. Tons of information on talent builds that you can copy and paste. Things on gearing up, consumables, stats, everything that you could want. Rotation helpers and everything. It's all here. There's tons of information that you can go and explore in this place. You might then also be wondering, okay, Sai, well, I want to get into, like, Mythic Plus, and what website would I use for that? Cool. Well, you can use Raider.io. If you go on to Raider.io, which should not look like this, it should look like this. If you go on to Raider.io, there's tons of information about your individual character. It'll show you your raid progression, your dungeon progression, all that kind of stuff. There's a welcoming page which will give you a bunch of information. You can check out the Race Toward First, which is currently ongoing, and that might be really interesting for you guys to check out. Doesn't look like... No, people are definitely killing heroic bosses at the moment, so this is fun. This is a nice time to kind of jump in. Ooh, one guild's even in mythic. So that's pretty cool. So that's Raider.io. You also... What's the last website? Oh, for raiding-based things, I would go on to Warcraft Logs. This is going to, again, show you, like, raid boss statistics and, like, stuff to do with the more competitive side of things of figuring out your class and all that kind of stuff. Again, signpost to the Race Toward First, which might be an interesting thing for you guys to check out at the moment. But that's everything I've got for you. That's like a full, extensive list with all the resources that I think that you currently probably would like. Those are the main things. For now, I would get busy going into delves, checking out dungeons, world quests, all these various activities. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll do my absolute best to respond to all of these as best I can. Also, if you want immediate responses, come catch me live on twitch.tv/Psybear_TV, link in the description. I am live on Twitch, I am live on Kick. There are no ads on Kick, and if you watch me there, I make more money, which is great. But let me know if this has been helpful. And that's everything. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.